Hi people, TS here. Just speaking about Arsenal and whether we can make it into the top four to qualify for the Champions League. Of course, we are still in the Europa League, and of course, if we win the Europa League, that is an avenue to therefore get back into the Champions League. Um, I'm just going to go through our run of fixtures remaining, um, compared to both Chelsea's and Manchester United. In a sense, we're the three teams going for that fourth spot. I think the top three will finish. I think Liverpool may just win the league. City second, Tottenham third, and of course it's down to us three teams to battle for the fourth spot. And I'm going to go through every team's fixtures from now to the end of the season. Of course, all of us may have more fixtures depending on what happens in terms of both Chelsea and United face each other in the FA Cup. And of course, Chelsea, just like us, are in the Europa League, and United are in the Champions League. So depending on how results vary there, and of course there could be some more fixtures. But I'm going to go across all the teams' fixtures, and we'll take it from there. I do think based on the fixtures that Arsenal have, I do think that we can make it into the top four as long as we do go on a good run of form, and we don't have any more slip ups, any more silly performances. So getting straight into it, if I go into Arsenal's fixtures from now to the end of the season, our next game is away at Huddersfield. It should be a game that we should get a victory. Nothing's a given, but it should be a game we should get a victory. Then we've got Europa League action against Bate Borisov in the first leg of the knockout round of 32. Then we've got Bate Borisov again in the second leg of that at home. In that leg, then we've got Southampton at home, Bournemouth at home. Then we go to Wembley to face Spurs away. That'll be a big game. Of course, if we are successful from the knockout round of 32, we'll have the last 16 of the Europa League. If not, then our next game would be Manchester United at home, Wolves away, Newcastle at home, Everton away, Watford away, Palace at home, Leicester away, Brighton at home, and Burnley away. Other than the Spurs and United game, all the other games should, in a sense, be in our favour. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. Some of these teams, they would know that Arsenal's defence isn't as great, and they will work up a game plan, to take points from us. For some of these teams, those points will be pivotal and vital in staying in the Premier League. So, of course, none of those games are guaranteed 3 points, but when I go into the games that the other two teams have to play, we do have the best run of games out of the three of us. It's just about whether we're consistent enough to actually get into that top four. I'm going to get into Chelsea's games now. So they've got Manchester City's their next game away. Then they've got Malmo in the Europa League, United in the FA Cup, then Malmo again in the Europa League. Then they've got Brighton at home. Then they play Manchester City again. That will be the Carabao Cup final. So of course, those games are going to be games that they're going to want to win, and of course, that's games where those players are going to be playing extra. After that, they've got Spurs at home, Fulham away, Wolves at home, Everton away, Cardiff away, West Ham at home, Liverpool away, Burnley at home, United away. Then they finish the season with playing Watford at home and then Leicester away. So if you look at Chelsea's run of games, of course, they're going to play Man City twice, once in the league, once in the Carabao Cup. They've got United twice, once in the FA Cup, once in the league. I think the one in the league right towards the end of the season, that will determine which one of those teams probably finish above each other, depending on how they play between now and then. Of course, they've got Liverpool away, which is going to be a big game. Liverpool, of course, going to want to, hopefully at that stage, they're going to want to still be in a position where they're looking the team most likely to win the league. And of course, they've got Spurs at home. So they've got some fixtures in there which they could potentially lose points. Of course, they will have more involvement in the Europa League if they beat Malmo, which they most likely are expected to do. I'm going to get into United's run of games now. They've got Fulham away, then they've got PSG at home in the Champions League, then they've got Chelsea away in the FA Cup, Liverpool at home, Palace away, Southampton at home. Then they've got the second leg of the Champions League fixture against PSG. Then they come to the Emirates, they play us. Then they've got City at home, Watford at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Everton away, Chelsea at home. Then they finish with away game at Huddersfield and a home fixture against Cardiff. So you look at Man United's fixtures as well. PSG is going to be a tough game for them in the Champions League. Of course, it's going to be a game where they're going to have to put out a strong side. Then they've got Chelsea in the FA Cup straight after that, which again is going to mean um, a strong performance going to be needed from them. Then they've got Liverpool straight after that at home. We know the rivalry between those two teams, so again they're going to want to put in they're going to have to put in a good performance for that game. Then when they've got the return fixture of PSG, after that they come to the Emirates, they play us, and then they've got City directly after that. So they've got some big games coming up in bulks, and then towards the end of the season they've got Chelsea at home. So, of course, they will have more fixtures in the Champions League or the FA Cup, depending on if they are, victorious in their next competitive games in those competitions. But yeah, when you compare the three fixture lists between now and the end of the season, Arsenal definitely have the I would say the easier fixture list. Not so much big teams in there. Of course, like I said, the teams, the smaller teams in the sense, if you like to call them that in the league, they're capable of beating anyone on their day, and we've seen that many times over many seasons in the Premier League. So of course I am expecting Arsenal, if they do go on a good run of form, to get into the top four. I don't see any reason as to why they can't do it. It's down to those players now to, of course, implement it, and hopefully we get a top four finish. Obviously, if we don't get a top four finish and we win the Europa League, I'd still be happy. I presume Chelsea would still be happy if they didn't make the top four, won the Europa League. Of course, they're in a similar sort of position to us. And Manchester United, if they're successful and win the Champions League, of course, that would mean that they're in it as well. But of course, out of the three teams, Arsenal do have the easier fixture list. Of course, I'd love Arsenal to, potentially make it into the top four and win the Europa League. But you can't get everything you want in life. If so, I'd be a billionaire by now. But yeah, that's just me giving my thoughts on everyone's fixture list between now and the end of the season. Of course, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.